We're always celebrating new tech, right? The shiny new servers, the latest software. It's exciting stuff. But what about when that technology reaches the end of its life? Well, retiring it isn't just about unplugging it and forgetting about it. It's a really important professional process. And if you get it wrong, oh boy, it can cause a world of pain.
So let me ask you this. Just take a second and think about it. When a system isn't needed anymore, what do you actually do? Is it really as simple as walking over and flipping a switch?
Oh, not even close. Just yanking the cord is basically the tech equivalent of ghosting someone. It leaves all these loose ends, opens up security risks, and it can create total chaos later on. There's a proper way to say goodbye, a professional way.
In that proper way, it actually has a name: decommissioning. See, it's a formal process, and the two most important words there are structured and controlled. This isn't about winging it. It's about engineering a clean and final exit for that piece of tech.
The best way I've found to think about this whole thing is to imagine you're moving out of a house. You wouldn't just walk out the door for the last time, leaving the lights on, the water running, and all your old junk scattered everywhere, right? Of course not. You'd have a plan. You'd clean up. The same exact logic applies here.
So, sticking with our moving analogy, every good move starts with a solid plan. That brings us to phase 1, preparation. This is where you draw up the blueprint for a totally smooth, headache-free move.
Okay, so what's in this blueprint? First, you make a real plan. You talk to the people who know the system inside and out, the specialists, and you lock in a date. Next, you communicate, and then communicate some more. Let everyone who might be affected know what's happening, well in advance. And then comes the really critical part, checking for interdependencies. You have to be absolutely sure that no other system is secretly relying on the thing you're about to turn off. And you don't guess, you confirm. It's actually unused by checking things like firewall logs. No traffic? Okay, you're probably in the clear. And finally, you give a heads up to the folks on the ground, the data center staff.
Now, before we go any further, I need to stop on this point because it is huge. This is probably the single most important warning in this whole phase. You have to figure out your data retention policies. Why? Because for legal or compliance reasons, you might be required to keep that data for years. Hitting delete could land your company in some serious hot water. So bottom line, know what your obligations are before you get rid of anything.
All right, we've got our blueprint, we've done our homework, we are ready for phase 2, execution. This is it. This is moving day for your tech. It's time to actually take the system offline and get it packed up.
And this part is all about being methodical. You start by taking one last, final backup, just in case. Then you pull out of all your operational tools, like your monitoring and backup systems. You definitely don't want a bunch of alarms screaming about a system that's supposed to be offline. Next, you sever its ties to the network, and then, and only then, do you switch it off. But look at that note there. Be ready to turn it back on. Because you know what? Sometimes, even with the best planning, something unexpected breaks. You have to be ready for that uh-oh moment. Once you're sure the coast is clear, then you can finally go in and physically remove the server, the cables, the whole shebang.
And this right here, this shows you exactly why we go through all that trouble. On the left, if you just rush it, you're looking at data loss, outages for other services, security holes, and just plain old confusion. But on the right, with a planned execution, you get a smooth transition, no nasty surprises, it's a secure process, and everyone knows what's going on. It's really the difference between chaos and control.
Okay, the tech is off, the server's gone from the rack. So, we're done, right? Nope, not yet. Just like when you move out of a house, the job isn't really finished until you've cleaned up. So that brings us to phase 3, cleanup. Think of this as the digital deep clean.
And this cleanup is pretty extensive. First things first, you cancel any licenses or service agreements. Why keep paying for something you aren't even using? Then, you tidy up your security by getting rid of old firewall rules that could turn into forgotten backdoors. You also delete the old installation software and either update or just remove the documentation. And of course, a huge one, you securely wipe or physically destroy any hard drives or other media. You want to make absolutely certain that data can never ever be recovered.
And the deep clean doesn't stop there. You've got to erase its entire digital footprint. That means getting rid of any related databases, wiping its name from the network by deleting DNS records, and freeing up its old IP addresses. You revoke all the user credentials tied to it. You let the finance department know so they can officially take it off the books. And finally, you update your main configuration database, your CMDB. That CMDB is basically the master map of your entire IT world. By removing the old gear, you make sure that map stays accurate for everyone.
So looking at all those steps, I know what you might be thinking. Wow, that sounds like a lot of work. And you know what? It is. But it is so worth it. Let's just quickly recap exactly why saying this professional goodbye matters so much.
The benefits are just massive. First, you seriously enhance your security by closing all those old, forgotten doors. Second, you get real cost savings. You stop paying for licenses, support, even the power to run the thing. Third, your documentation becomes way more accurate, which is a lifesaver for troubleshooting down the road. And all of this rolls up into better operational efficiency, because your team isn't wasting time chasing down these ghost systems that don't even exist anymore.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. Pretty much every organization has them. You know, those old, forgotten servers just humming away in a dark corner of the data center, not doing a single useful thing. After walking through this, the real question you should be asking yourself is, what forgotten technology is still on your books, still a potential security risk, and still costing you money right now?